Hello, this is this week update, and this was a great week, a lot of updates. So this is me as usual, and the first big update is Google Gemini 1.5 Pro, up to 1 million tokens. In fact, in their research, they did up to 10 million tokens, and you can see this on the picture. So this is Gemini 1 Pro, which is 32K, Gemini 4 Turbo 128K, Claude 200K, and this is Gemini 1.5 Pro, which is up to 10 million tokens. This is absolutely insane, and I just remember when Llama was outsourced in July, it was like 4K, like 4,000 tokens, and now we're talking about 10 million tokens. And it's multimodal. It's just absolutely crazy. One of the big things about this particular model is that it is a mixture of experts, and it allowed them to train it faster, and it is on the level with Ultra, but it can work with much longer context. In fact, they're doing something called needle in a haystack tests, and they get like 99.7 recall. Just absolutely amazing. And these are links to YouTube videos where they can do movie, code, and text on huge numbers of tokens, and they show how the model is able to find, well, needle in a haystack. Absolutely amazing progress. They probably will not release 10 million, but 1 million, it is now already officially called Gemini 1.5 Pro, and well, they probably will release it soon. Okay. Large world model. My guess is that Gemini 1.5 Pro is actually using under the hood something like this. So Large World Model is a new publication from UC Berkeley. And what they're using ring attention. And by the way, Google also, I mean DeepMind, Google, that they're using ring attention. So what is ring attention and how it works? Tokens are distributed across multiple devices, GPUs or TPUs, arranged in a virtual ring. Each device handles a segment of the input sequence. Attention is calculated in blocks by segment. Key value pairs are passed sequentially around the ring between devices. They have overlapping, and yeah, that's the whole idea. Uh, and that's what DeepMind Google is using to achieve performance and this insane context length. We probably need a special presentation maybe next week just to talk how the ring attention works and how large world model works. This particular model, it's a multimodal thing. So it uses text and it uses video. And yeah, so they overcome a lot of difficulties, challenges. UC Berkeley is known for their great research. I highly recommend you to follow them. It's a high quality research. Okay, year 2024 is a year of agents. I just want to compare. 2023 was year of POCs, proofs of concept. Focus was on research and discovery, massive leaps in capability of different models, research explosion, open source development, huge AI community grew, accessibility increases, so average people now have access to pretty good models which they can run on their laptops. Year 24 is year of deploying AI agents that can act responsibly in the world. Production deployments. So large language models are used as building blocks in systems. Large language models by themselves are not trustworthy, right? They hallucinate, but as part of the system, you can actually make system which is reliable. And research still continues, focusing on application for real world impact becomes key. LLM hallucinate will just stop, but you add some pieces for reliability, fact checking, integration, and gets better. Deploying agents responsibly means tackling AI ethics, safety, potential harm. OpenAI, Meta, Microsoft, Google, Apple, and other key players are now moving into building practical solutions, all of them, not just big models. And working systems tend to consist of multiple agents with different functions. Okay, AI at World Government Summit. So you see Jan LeCun, you see Sam Altman from OpenAI, and you see Jensen Huang of Nvidia. There was a big forum. You can watch the interviews, very interesting. Valentine's Day and AI. I put here how you can use AI to make your Valentine Day or date better. And Vitaly, I couldn't stand. So I have a friend, a student, who I'm teaching large language models, and he asked local Mixtral to write a poem for me as a teacher. And this is a poem devoted to me, written by Mixtral. Interesting. Anyway, stable Cascade by Stability.AI, another groundbreaking thing. So Stability.AI is famous for their stable diffusion model to generate images from text. And stable diffusion is kind of like a worm, right? Consisting of steps, and on each step you first compress, then decompress, and in the middle you mix in some vectors from text. And this is how you make the model eventually generate images. The compression in the middle of stable diffusion is 8 times. The new model is 42 times compression. And the fear was that if you compress more, you may lose quality. But they somehow achieved even better quality while much higher compression. And when you get much higher compression, that means that the whole model becomes much smaller. So you can run it on regular hardware, you can train it much faster, you can have much faster image creation. And I've seen some videos and people tested side by side and then decided, oh, okay, we'll just remove stable diffusion. We don't need it anymore. We'll just, from now on, we'll just use Cascade and nothing but Cascade. There was an interesting video where the guy was explaining how you can generate logos for your video using this new model very, very effectively using Pinocchio. So you can follow this. Okay. Nvidia has become bigger than Amazon. So these are public companies, they trade, and if you calculate number of shares times the cost of the share, you get market capitalization, and here are the winners. So Microsoft is 3 point something trillion, Apple is not far behind, and then we have Alphabet, Nvidia, and Amazon, and you see that they're very, very close, approximately 1.8 trillion, and you see that Nvidia has become bigger than Amazon, all because of this hype of large language models, of course. Nvidia released a demo application. It's a chat application to chat with RTX GPUs. Like, for example, NVIDIA RTX 3090 or NVIDIA RTX 4090 or some other RTX. So, and what's interesting about it, that it is very, very fast. They provided with a couple small models which you can choose inside. And it's using technology called NVIDIA TensorRT LLM, an open source toolkit. Very, very impressive. Just the speed of generation of the response is absolutely amazing. Andrej Karpathy left OpenAI again. So Andrej Karpathy was famous for creating a course for deep learning at Stanford. Then in 2015, he was one of co-founders of OpenAI. 2 years later, he was seduced to go into Tesla, where he became the main scientist. And later he left because he said that he's not doing real research anymore. He's like this big manager who is moving big projects and millions of dollars, but he really likes to do things with his hands and his brain. So he moved to OpenAI, but there he was only for a year, and now he left. And according to OpenAI and according to him, everything was amicable, everything was friendly. So he just said that he wants to concentrate on his own ideas. Uh, we don't know what it is, so looking to see. He's extremely talented and yes, famous. He's a celebrity. OpenAI memory feature. So OpenAI introduced a new feature. They introduced it to a very small number of people, of paid customers. I don't know anybody who actually has access to it yet. Um, but what it is, it's quite useful because now, well, when you use OpenAI, you have to log in, right? So it knows that it is you, and now it can memorize your questions or answers or your preferences, and you have control. You can delete certain memories, or you can completely like forbid it from memorizing. Well, but it's actually maybe very useful if the system knows you and kind of with time learns what you need and what kind of answers you want. So users can disable the memory feature, option to delete specific memories. You can also use something like incognito mode, which they call a temporary chat. So it doesn't have memory about it. So very interesting, and yeah, I think it's like cookies with browsers. They absolutely have their place, and they makes life better. But of course, there are security concerns. LLM in military decisions. This is hilarious. So this is a publication: escalation risks from language models in military and diplomatic decision making. They tried to use LLMs for war games, right? You remember there was an old movie, like, but anyway, what they found that in these simulated war games, the large language model tends to escalate. And what's even worse, like it's using language of Star Wars. I mean, you get what it's trained on, right? If it was trained on regular literature or movies, Star Wars and whatever, that it only knows how to think in this way. So first strike tactics and whatever. So it is dangerous. It doesn't understand what it's doing, right? And definitely you should not use it to make military decisions. But it was scary. Like just to read this article, like go there, click, read. Advanced RAG. I want to thank Sander for providing me with links about some good publications about RAG. You know that simple RAG, naive RAG doesn't work well. So people came up with more complex structures which actually work. There are tutorials and publications, like for example, 12 RAG pain points and proposed solutions. So 7 failure points when engineering a retrieval augmented generation system. A survey about RAG techniques and so on. So this is useful. It will be posted on GitHub. You can then go there, click on the links, read or use in your project. Sam Altman and $7 trillion. Yes, this is again amazing. I've heard about it over the weekend. So Monday morning, I'm opening Gemini and I'm using advanced and I'm asking it, what is it about Sam Altman and $7 trillion? And Gemini, it knows about recent events. It knows what Google knows. So this is the only model on the market currently which actually is up to date. And it told me everything about this $7 trillion and even gave me the link to a Wall Street Journal article about it. And what Sam is trying to do, he's trying to negotiate with rich people and governments to collect money, a lot of money, to start a fabrication of specialized chips for AI. So it's a huge project because, well, they believe that this is like a geopolitics. The country which have access to those chips will have advantage. its economics will be better, its military will be better, everything will be better. It's very important and justifies these huge investments. But just think about it, $7 trillion, not billions of dollars. They're counting trillions. Absolutely amazing. Sora, text to video from OpenAI. As soon as Google, DeepMind, announced the new Gemini Pro with millions of tokens, OpenAI immediately retaliated and released Sora, which is text to video, which is amazing quality. It's currently all over the YouTube. You can see those videos. They're amazingly realistic, high quality, can go up to a minute. And so you tell what you want in this video, so it converts text into video. And yeah, the slide cannot possibly explain it. You really need to see the demos. It's amazing. DeepMind GraphCast model. It's a weather model, and again, it's absolutely amazing. Well, it was first published in August, but recently they, I don't know, released it. Something happened. And what it does, well, first of all, it's a small model. It's only 40 million parameters. We're accustomed to have billions of parameters, or tens of billions, or hundreds of billions, or even trillions. But here it's only 40 million parameters. So it's a small neural network. It's a graph neural network. And it can do 10-day prediction, and it's extremely precise, and it beats huge standard billion-dollar systems which were used before. And think about 40 million parameters. You can probably run it on a laptop or on a phone. Well, if you provide it with data. So I don't know, if they will make the data somehow available by subscription, you can have pretty good prediction. And it can be used by agriculture, it can be used by military, it can be used by, well, it's extremely useful, and it's the best weather predictor in the history. Okay, how to make a RAG for million users. So RAG is Retrieval Augmented Generation. We talk about it every time, but let me just remind you the simple RAG. You take your data, let's say text, you split it in pieces, you convert each piece into embedding vector, and you put it in a database. So you have a piece of text with a corresponding vector, and usually with some metadata. And then a person asks a question, so you have a prompt. This question is, again, it's a piece of text, it's using the same model, it's converted into a vector, and then we're searching for similar vectors. It's called similarity search. We take those closest matching vectors, we take the corresponding pieces of text, and we compose an augmented prompt. We're basically asking LLM model, okay, answer this question given this text, which we just got from the database, and LLM produces the answer to the human. So this is retrieval augmented generation. And once the data is already in the database, you have a retriever which retrieves the data, and then you have the generator which generates the response from the retrieved data. So we have retriever and we have generator. And if you want to make a system for millions of users, well, first of all, of course, you need a distributed database. So you need to use sharding. You need to have distributed indexes, splitting your search request. Instead of exact search, you can use something called approximate nearest neighbor. So it is close enough instead of perfect match. You use distillation, training smaller, more efficient generator models here that mimic the output of larger ones. You use dynamic selection depending on the query route to different models or to different databases. You cache popular retrieval results. You optimize cost of your infrastructure. Focus on specific domains first and then add piece by piece. Very important to mitigate bias, safety, constantly evaluate using user feedback and logs for continuous improvement. So this is just general ideas. You can implement it on any cloud or on premises, but these are main ideas. Okay, couple more things. Jan LeCun spoke about the new model, which is called VJEPA, which is Video Joint Embedding Predictive Architecture. So it's not generative architecture that predicts the representation of signal from corrupted or transformed version of that signal. So in their case, the signal was a short video that was corrupted by masking a large portion of each frame. And there's a lot of links to follow: the blog, the article, the GitHub. And another thing, nearly all wealth gained by world's richest people this year comes from AI. So here we have Mark Zuckerberg, Jensen Huang from Nvidia, Jeff Bezos, Amazon, Steve Ballmer, Microsoft, Larry Ellison, and yeah, it just interesting thought, right? That AI is the main creator of wealth. And Lambda Labs just raised another $300 million. This is Series C. Lambda Labs is a very good cloud for GPUs. But even there is difficulty to get a server because of high demand. So to get the server, you need to make a commitment for several years, and then you have a chance to actually get the server. Okay, Crowdsource Arena Leaderboard. So this is from yesterday, and they still don't have Gemini Advanced on this leaderboard. So the structure is basically the same. You have GPT-4 and Gemini Pro, which used to be Bard, and then Mistral, Claude. This is Chinese model from Alibaba. Claude, Gemini Pro, Claude, and Mixtral. So Mixtral is on the 12th place. Mixtral is the open source. So this is the best open source model available so far. And out of 64 models, so it's number 12. Well, it's there. It's closer to the top. Okay, and about layoffs, nothing changed much in the week. No more layoffs. So you see, this is last year in January, and this is this year. It's about 1/3. And this is February last year, and this is February so far. So it will be probably even smaller than 1/3. I guess we're good. Okay, thank you. This is it for today.